Hello again and welcome to Simple Grounds YouTube channel. Today we're going to be using an old method to repair a cracked shovel handle. Now this method was one that was used by my grandparents and great-grandparents to fix all sorts of cracked wood. This method, it can be quite sturdy and you might find that it works for quite a long time. Now if I can add a plug in here for these Pony shovels. Pony brand shovel makes an awesome shovel head. I go through quite a few handles before I'll go through this shovel head. But unfortunately the handle I bought wasn't very good quality. That's what I get for trying to save $1 on the handle. And now I'm going to try to save another $1 by repairing this by wrapping it with wire. Now the first thing I'm going to need to do is remove some of this leftover finish so that my wire will stay in place. And I will do that now using a piece of sandpaper, 100 grit. So as you can see here, I've just taken off the layer of finish that they'd put on. I have found that the sealer doesn't matter much in my dry climate. Even then, this is a broken shovel handle. I'm living on a prayer anyway. So if this repair job doesn't work very long, I'd be buying a new shovel handle anyway. Well, this is the wire that we're going to use today to repair it. This is 17 gauge electric fence wire, really soft. The old timers used baling wire. We're going to be wrapping this really tight and really thick, so it doesn't have to be a really fat, heavy gauge wire. You're looking for something very malleable, soft, and relatively light duty. We kind of have to begin with the end in mind. We are going to be wrapping up the handle and then pulling it tight. The trick or the secret to keeping this in place is keeping it tight. Now I'm going to measure off a piece that's about the length of the spot that I want to cover. Now you can see here I have a lot of wire. I don't want to be caught short-handed. It takes a lot of wire. So we bend the piece and we hold it in place as we make our first revolution around the handle. And we'll bring it back to the first point here. Kudos to all of those YouTubers out there that do things like this while looking at their camera, because it is harder than it looks. So here we've gone around twice. So the idea is to put that first revolution on the outside, and we are working this way up the handle. Now once we have a couple wraps, we can pull it tight, and as we continue to go around, we'll want to pull it and hold it as tightly as possible. Now I'll tighten this around the handle and wrap it up the handle, and we'll meet at the other side. There's really no tricks other than holding everything in place, making sure this wire stays pointed up this direction. Now after I've gotten a few wraps, you can see how tightly I'm wrapping them. It kind of holds itself in place and I'm able to rotate the shovel handle. If you're repairing anything other than a shovel, it may not be so easy to rotate, but in this case it's easy to rotate, and I'll continue rotating until I've completed it here. I've gotten to a point where I'm going to quit, so you can see that I've woven the wire as tightly against itself as I can. Now see, my great-grandpa was able to do this with all the wire touching as though it was on a spool. I don't have the skill yet, apparently, And you can see here the wire that we started with bending is underneath all the way up. Now we are going to feed the other end of the wire back through this direction while trying to keep everything as tight as we can. See, I have my thumb in place and I'm trying to push the wire through without letting go of the wire wraps that I've done so far. Alright, I wasn't able to do all of that on the camera. That's actually quite a difficult technique, but you can see that I fed this line back through, so I have the beginning that starts here and goes under and comes this way, and the top that goes around and back down. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to rotate it all this direction just to make sure everything's tight. I'm going to try to tighten it all up and squish it all together just to keep it all as tight as I can. I might have to do this a couple of times. Also want to make sure that my wire stays in line as I do so. And then I can grab my pliers and pull it back through. So after I've tightened everything, I'm going to pull this loop back through. Grab it with my pliers here. And pull. Now you can see I've loosened things up on this bottom side, so I'm going to pull the other direction. Try to tighten it that way. I'll make sure all the coils are tightened up and around and in place. I'll pull back this direction and I'll go back and forth until it's tight. Now remember, when I say tight, I mean really tight. Alright, you see here that I have finished this off. After tightening it up, it's put these coils really close together. All that's left is to cut the wires, and after the wires are cut, you can always break them by bending them back and forth. But after they've come off, it'll hold for quite some time. See, just like that, it'll come right off. Anyway, as I break this last wire off, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. If you have experience with repairing tools and other things in this manner, leave them in the comments below. If you like the pony shovel like I do, give me a thumbs up. Write about it in the comments below. Thanks again, and goodbye.